It's been about 5 months since I got the OnePlus 7 Pro, the phone that you've been seeing here and there in my videos because I use it for my notes and scripts and all that kind of stuff as I'm doing my YouTube videos and of course, just my phone in general. And now finally, T-Mobile has got the Android 10 rolling out to all the OnePlus 7 owners. If you haven't gotten your update yet, please note that these updates usually roll out in waves. So that pretty much means that you will eventually get your update pretty soon here now that the update is actually rolling out. Now, as far as what that update actually entails, all the little details of everything that this update will bring to us OnePlus 7 owners, as far as T-Mobile is concerned, you can find that on an article that was put up way long ago, about 3 months ago, by OnePlus themselves. I will link it down in the description box below. That's how long it takes to actually get updates when you're running on when you're tied to the carrier, pretty much. If you have an unlocked phone or what have you, or you bought your phone directly from OnePlus, then you most likely already have the Android 10 update, and this might be old news for you. You can either stay tuned in, or maybe I'll have another video for you probably coming a little later this week. I'm sorry about that, but for all you other guys who are interested in my experience with this phone after about 5 months, and also the little features I find interesting with the Android 10, then stick around. Oh, and obviously we're going to talk about one or two issues I have with both the Android 10 update and with this OnePlus 7 after so long as well. Let's get into it. All right, getting into the things I've noticed in my daily use of the OnePlus 7 Pro. So in other words, the features from Android 10 that actually affect me directly every single day. The first one, obviously, is the slight update to the notifications area. You now have a new bucket in your notifications area that is called Other Buckets. Other Notifications. And I'm not necessarily sure how Android 10 is curating or separating these notifications now. It seems to be that the notifications that land in the other notifications area are kind of on a priority sort of thing. Maybe that priority is determined by the app to let Android know, or let your phone know that these notifications are not as important, but you still want to let the user know. So they fall into the other notifications, and the more critical ones or important ones still go exactly where they've always been, which is right there at the top of the list, sort of a first come, first serve kind of business going on up there. Piggybacking right off of that, however, is a slightly more aggressive approach that Google is taking to notifying you about the permissions that your different apps on your phone is using. Now, this is aside from the fact that we pretty much already have the feature where we select what permissions an app is allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do based on what we think the app should be allowed to access. Most of the time, at least for now, most apps are kind of getting it right now. At first, they were not, but it seems a lot of apps that are on my phone are pretty much accessing the areas that I know as I use the app, they need access to. However, what Google is doubling down on with these permissions is that they really don't need those permissions all the time. Now, this is a little bit funny and a bit of an issue here. This is what I was saying about my issues with the update. So what this update is exposing is an issue that actually comes from Google's side. What we always thought when we were installing our apps and selecting these allow permissions, is that the app would only really be using these different areas of our phones when the app itself was in use. Obviously, this update proves what we already knew from some time ago, is that that wasn't exactly true. So now Google is letting you know in the other notifications area, giving you small little pop-ups every now and again in your notifications that this app and this app and this app is still using maybe your location services, even when it shouldn't be using that because you're not actually using that app right now. And now by tapping on that notification, you're allowed to finally have this new third option that says only use it when the app is in use. You know, the way it should have been years ago, back when all this permission stuff came into light. That's what we thought you were doing before. But apparently now that is what is happening. So I'm happy about that. I'm still of the mindset, however, that this area, there's only allow when the app is in use option should be the default. It should be on by default, and you should actually have to choose the other two options if you feel your app actually needs that. The next thing I've noticed with this Android 10 update is a new navigation gesture. Now, I've been using the navigation gestures left and right for about a week now, and it has not been a very smooth experience. It seems still that the navigation gestures don't really take into account people who are using screen protectors and protector cases. It really seems to be more suitable for people who are running with just a naked phone. Maybe all you did was debrand your phone and put a screen protector on it. For people like that, the navigation gestures probably seem more suited to them. Even so, it is still annoying that the gesture to swipe up from the bottom is still conflicting with the gesture to swipe up to reveal your app drawer. I don't. This is my issue with gestures. They have to be clearly separated and clearly different actions that don't conflict with each other. So I'm not constantly fiddling, trying to swipe up, and I get my app drawer all the time instead of getting my recent app so I can swipe back to the app that I just had on my home screen. It is still a pain in the butt to use, honestly. My experience with the OnePlus 7 Pro so far after 5 months has been actually mostly positive, besides the issues that I've already talked about with the Android 10 update, and one other feature that has been bugging me. So on the OnePlus 7 Pro, I don't know whether this feature was added by Google or by OnePlus 7's Oxygen OS itself, but you do have the ability to have their Wi-Fi automatically connect when you reach certain areas, or when it just sees that there's Wi-Fi out there that has a very good internet or strong signal, however you want to call it. It calls it intelligent sensing of Wi-Fi. However, this has not worked as well as of late. At first, this feature was pretty convenient. It kind of smoothly and without really bothering me much, it connected to the Wi-Fi at the office when I got to work, and it would connect back to the Wi-Fi at home when I got home. Even if I turned off the Wi-Fi when doing GPS, because it will always be a very mixed bag of whether I get good Wi-Fi or not. So I prefer to use my 4G connection when I'm traveling back between those two locations, or anywhere else for that matter. It has not been doing that as of late. I don't know whether it was the update or not. I think it was doing this before the update even started. I was having issues with this where no matter what, even if I deselected, even if I disabled turning on Wi-Fi automatically, it would turn on the Wi-Fi and try to connect somewhere no matter what. Even if I was in GPS going back and forth wherever I was going, I would find that the Wi-Fi was turned on and my GPS would stop working because it tried to connect to something, or try to connect to a Wi-Fi area that I did not have actual access to. It was just free, but maybe it required a sign in or something like that. But it just wouldn't work, and my GPS would be screwed up, and I would be on the road in the middle of my travels, fiddling with the phone, trying to get the Wi-Fi to turn back off and get my 4G back on so that my GPS would work correctly again. I've now gotten to the point where I've turned off both the auto connect to Wi-Fi and the intelligent sensing, what have you. Hopefully that will solve it, and that will just stop the feature altogether. And I would just have to go back to turn on my Wi-Fi manually wherever I'm at, which is perfectly fine. It's not really that big a deal. It's a nice feature when it does work correctly, and my GPS only really works well on the 4G connection, not bouncing around between different Wi-Fi connections that it finds while I'm driving. That's pretty much my thoughts on the OnePlus 7 Pro after about 5 months, and also getting the Android 10 update. Like I said, it has honestly been mostly positive. This phone is still fast. It still has, a loads and loads of space. I've never run out of room on the phone. It is still performing very, very well. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this thick case on it. I might find something that's a little more subtle, so I can probably try to use the gestures. I don't know. But just, I really like this case too, honestly. I can't lie. I love this case. And the links to the case and maybe a few other things for the OnePlus 7 Pro is down in the description box below. But as far as this video is concerned, we are done. I will see you guys in another video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below if you want to see more content, more tech, more streams, all that kind of stuff. I do apologize. As of late, I've been missing streams because my work, my actual job, has been a little bit busy as of late, but we are trying to get back on schedule going into the next week. So I will see you guys on another stream very soon and another video very soon. You have a good one. Bye.